usual. I'm like so happy that we've reconnected. And then you get to spend mornings together. It's nice. Alright. I think all the chats are set up. Did I run today? I didn't run today. I actually ended up going on a hike yesterday for almost 6 miles. And with like 1,000+ feet elevation gain, so lots of stairs and steps and cliffs. It was awesome. It was beautiful. Yeah. And then usually on Friday mornings I teach a private at 7 a.m. It's more of a flexibility and functional strength type class. It's just one-on-one on Zoom. On Wednesdays and Fridays I do that. But my client texted me like 15 minutes before class and was like, I'm exhausted. Can we do tomorrow instead? So I was just like, actually, I hiked so much yesterday. I'm tired as well. So my knees are actually going to be happy to take a day of rest. So I just like, all right. I mean, I still got up at 6:45, but instead of running, I was like, you know what? This is a sign. I should just take a day off of running. Just enjoy today's stream with all of you guys. And yeah, it's not going to be like restorative or like yin class or anything like that, but definitely not going to be power yoga either, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to take it easy and celebrate the fact that today they're 50th class together. I'm really, really happy about that. And I'm really grateful to have this option to stream online and spend every morning live with you guys. My forward fold has improved so much. Yay, I'm so glad. That's one of the main things that I've been working with him over this past year. Well, not year. I think we started working together in July. And he's like, my goal is to touch my toes. And I'm like, okay, I know all the things that will help get you there. And he's like, how long will it take? I'm like, I have no idea. It's your body. But yeah, forward folds. Oh, so good. It's just kind of funny because usually people come to me for back bending advice, but they go hand in hand. You can't do one without the other. I mean, of course you can physically. It's possible to forward fold without back bending. It's possible to back bend without forward folding, but you know, balance. We want to create muscle balance, and one practice really does support the other. So yeah, anyway, I digress. We just got a minute before class starts here, so what does that even mean? What do we do here? What we do here is we practice connecting mind and body through the avenue of the breath. And that's commonly known as yoga. So we'll start with a nice seated grounding meditation, just to really arrive in the space. I'll guide you through that. We'll enter our breathing pranayama practice. So pranayama, yes, they're breathing techniques, but prana, right, in Sanskrit means energy. So we're working with energy, we're working with breath, working with stillness in this first segment. And then we'll move into the movement portion, which is a series of yoga poses that you'll probably recognize, as well as some functional movement, and some lymphatic shaking, some releasing practices, and breath of joy and all that good stuff. And then we'll end with a nice long Savasana final relaxation pose, and that's going to be a reclining meditation, and I'll lead you through that verbally. So no experience necessary. Come as you are, stay as you wish. It's not a dance routine, so it doesn't have to look any type of way. I just want you to physically feel better stepping off the mat than you did stepping on. So what you'll need, just your attention. Yoga mat helps, especially if you're on hardwood floors, and definitely if you're on tile. If you don't have a yoga mat, don't get all like, oh, I have to buy a $60 yoga mat or something crazy like that. You can just use towels or a blanket, carpeted floor if you have that option, highly recommend. Just to be nice to your knees and your joints. And get this countdowner off. We're just about to get started here. And we're going to start, in this grounding meditation, we do a body scan. So if something shows up for you that you specifically like to work on, or a body part's calling out for your attention, please feel encouraged and invited to drop that in chat, and I'll make sure to add that into today's lesson, today's movement practice, so you feel like your needs are being met too. So we'll start. Yes, good morning. We'll start in a comfortable seated position. That could be on the floor, or I like sitting cross-legged on the floor. It just feels nice to me. Seated up nice and tall. If seated cross-legged doesn't work so hot for you, it might just mean that you need to get your hips higher than your knees, in which case you would just sit on top of your human. Really? Please. Can you sit anywhere else? You can sit on top of a stack of books or a yoga block to get those hips elevated. We are feeling needy and cuddly today. Okay. Or if you're sitting in a chair, that's all great too. The posture is all the same. Heart over hips, head over heart. There's a string pulling you up from the crown of your head towards the sky. We'll bring our hands to rest on the knees. Palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you've got a little extra to give today. We'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Shoulders drop down and away, nice and heavy. Eyes can close if that's comfortable for you, or just lowering them to a soft gaze just beyond your feet, if that's better. And just allow your breath to continue in and out through the nose if that's available, returning to a natural pace. We'll take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment, here in this space. Beginning to allow sounds into your awareness. Maybe the sound of an airplane flying overhead. Or traffic passing just outside your window. Allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. And feel the temperature of the air on your skin. And the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. And using this information to inform your practice as we move forward. Working into the places that call out for your attention. And shifting that awareness from the body, Annamaya Kosha, to the breath, Pranamaya Kosha. And the energy. Noticing energetically where you're at in this moment. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl into bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. Whatever that number is today, it's not right or wrong, good or bad. Allow it to also inform how you flow through class today. So if you're finding yourself at a low number, maybe practice giving 60% of effort, or even 40%. You can still give 100% attention and mindfulness to something that you're just giving 40% physical effort to. Or if you're at a 9 or a 10 and it's hard to sit still, you can add on and exert more energy to help channel it through. Bringing your attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations and exhalations. And paying particular attention to the space in between, anywhere you might have a tendency to hold the breath, the top or bottom. And shifting that awareness up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha. Allow thoughts and feelings to arise freely. And observing those thoughts from a distance. No need to engage, like an image being projected onto the screen, the storyline, the drama, it all continues without our direct participation. Just notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they carrying on an ongoing conversation or replaying the day's events? Or are they random fragments of ideas barely stringing together to form a sentence? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. And we'll bring the attention back down to the breath. This time actively expanding on the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air, and every exhale lets something more go. Full belly breathing here. So in the inhale, the belly is expanding like a balloon inflating, making space for the diaphragm to drop and the lungs to fill. Exhales, contract the torso, pulling belly button in towards spine, using some muscular energy and effort here to expunge all of that air. Breathing in and out through the nose here if possible. As the inhaling through the nose helps warm up the air and humidify it, making it easier on the lungs to accept. And exhaling through the nose helps slow the breath down as we're going for slow, deep breaths. We'll begin our equal parts breathing, the breathing technique we've been working on all month here. And starting at the beginning of your next inhalation, we'll bring a count to that breath, counting up. 1, 2, 3, and so forth at your own pace until you get to the very top of your breath, where there's no space to even take another sip of air in, whatever number that might land on, using that number to exhale to the same count. Inhale for 9, exhale for 9, whatever the number might be. Still seated up tall in your seat, shoulders pulled back. Space between top and bottom teeth, the jaw is heavy, relaxed, tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Whole face is relaxed. If the mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to the counting. And the next time you exhale, no rush to get there. Just release any counting and effort from the breath, returning to a natural pace. And bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. No space between the fingers, and the thumbs press into the sternum. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. It might be the sankalpa, the heart's desire you've been working with all year, or something new might inspire you today. The invitation is just to have this intention in the positive, present, and affirmative. For example, I flow through life with ease and grace. Or I am the possibility of patience and presence. Whatever you're trying to cultivate in your life, in your personality, your character sheet, if you will. This is an opportunity to claim that and practice it here during this practice. And we'll set that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant along with me. First, a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release to your lap, chin drops towards chest. And then an inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And left ear towards left shoulder. Just allowing the head to gently rock side to side. Beginning to open up that space between ear and upper back, trapezius muscle that connects it all. And the next time, the right ear rolls over the right shoulder, hold it there, the breathing continues. And right hand comes to land on top of the left side of the head. No pulling, just the weight of gravity will be enough. And left arm reaches away and gently touches down, fingers just grazing the mat. Just creating a nice long stretch from the head, through the arm, all the way down to the fingertips. You can give the head a little nod, yes, to find where that sweetest part of the stretch is in the neck for you. Eyes can stay closed for this. On your next exhale, releasing hands back down, chin rolls through chest and over to the left. Left hand comes to land on top of right side of the head, just the weight is enough. And right arm reaches away and gently touches down. No weight in this hand or anything, is more of a reach. We'll gently give the head a little nod to find where that stretch is in the neck that feels best. Full breathing here. Shoulders are relaxed. Release the hands back down to the lap, chin rolls down towards chest. Let the head come up through center. We need to roll the shoulders forward. Just beginning to open up the space between the scapula, shoulder blades. Whole upper back. And roll the shoulders back. Beginning to open up the chest, pectoral muscles. Coming to stillness here, we'll inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bend over to the right. Left arm reaching over, left hip glued to the ground. So we're opening up the space, elongating this whole side body with a lateral bend. Inhale up through center. And exhale over to the left. Just allowing this to be a nice big sweeping motion, beginning to calibrate breath with movement. And the next time the arms sweep over to the right, and just use that left arm to sweep forward. Right arm follows. A nice big circle. Really no wrong way of doing this. It's like a little free movement just to wake up the spine. And we'll change directions. Sweeping over to the left. Right arm leads forward. Left arm follows. This is a movement that I think I learned at Kripalu or something like that, but it started coming up a lot once I started spinning for fire. I taught at this fire dancing festival, and this movement looks really pretty when you have fire poi in your hands. And all the people at that festival were really receptive to this, and I was just like, oh, this is a nice little bridge over these two worlds. Alright, we'll bring it back up through center, arms sweep up. And exhaling, twisting to the right, left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands behind you. We're just opening the chest towards the side wall. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale to the left. Following the breath in to rise. And out to twist. Once more to each side, just allowing the speed of your body to be informed by the length of your breath. Back through center, elbows bend and hands come about ear height. Just give them a wave, beginning to warm up the wrists and the hands. And then palms drop down, fingers wiggle, going side to side. So this little hand circuit that we do every morning, it seems silly, but it really does help. Especially if you just need a break at work from typing, sit at a desk all day, or use your hands, drawing all day. You get cramped up, this can help alleviate some of that. Especially this next one. Palms flip towards the sky. It's like you're trying to get your hands to bend all the way back, fingers spread. And we're just going from a full range of motion all the way clockwise and counterclockwise with fingers pressed back. And there's some effort here. You might even feel your forearms begin to fatigue. And then just like shaking off water, nice and gentle. Just shaking out the hands. 3, 2, 1. Bring the legs out in front. Back to the side. And begin to spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. Change directions. Just beginning to wake up the lower legs. Feet, or rather knees bend. Feet come mat distance apart, nice and wide. And just drop the knees side to side. And the legs are far enough apart that they don't stack. Knee has space to touch down to the ground. And the knees fall over to the right. Bring your right hand in closer to your hips. Left arm sweeps forward and up. Let the body come with it. Hips and chest rise. And then hips touch down. Bring the knees over to the left. Right arm sweeps up. As we touch down, just exhale as we bring the knees over, and inhale is for the rise and lift. Exhale, changing sides. Inhale, rise and lift. Following your breath out to change sides, in to rise. Beautiful. Next time the knees fall over to the right, we'll frame this front knee. You know what? Let's do a little bit of strengthening, some like joint strengthening here. We'll actually stay here in this stag pose, so this like lightning bolt type shape with the legs. Chest turns to face the right knee, making more of a 90-degree angle with the left knee. You can bring it a bit further behind you. And then we're going to attempt to lift the knee and the ankle at the same time. So hands go where serves you. I like pressing them into the ground just for a little stability. And we're just going to lift and lower. So this is like a seemingly really easy movement until you try to actually keep the ankle and the knee together. So we're strengthening this medius, what is it? Gluteus medius, like your side butt. But it takes some hip flexibility as well. So we're just going nice and slow and just keep your breathing full. We're not connecting the breath to the lift and the rise. We're just going for full deep torso, deep belly breaths. You get to kind of practice keeping an engagement in the core while still breathing fully into the belly. That's kind of the challenge here. We just got 2 more on this side. 1. Okay. Hands come to frame this knee. You're going to bring it forward. Let's stretch out what we just strengthened in a low lunge. So right knee over right ankle, left leg comes behind you, lifts in the knee. And then we're just going to bring it forward and back, giving the calf a bit of a stretch. So if you don't feel a stretch in your calf, gastrocnemius right here, then your leg's probably not straight enough. So just imagine the back of your knees trying to touch the ceiling as you're bringing it forward and back, forward and back. 3, 2, 1. Press the heel back, 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 pressing the knee up towards the sky. Full breath here. And then you might feel like you have a little bit more space, so you can scooch that foot back a little bit more, releasing the knee onto the ground. Untuck the toes, so it's the shoelace part of the foot pressing into the earth. And then we'll lift up for Asana. Shoulders come up over the hips. Still the knee is up over the ankle. And I'm letting my left hip really press forward, my right hip pull back to feel a nice stretch on the front thigh. Good morning, Miss Mango. Good morning, beautiful. Allowing all sounds in. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So we're just letting the left hip flexor really stretch. Daydream's making tea in the other room. Another full breath here. Then we'll release the hands back down. Wiggle the foot in towards the left hip. We're coming down to seated. Extend, coming down to seated like on both hips. This foot comes in towards the left thigh. And it's still at a big angle. So my chest is facing forward with my hips, with legs to the side. And we'll just work on a nice deep side stretch here. So this arm extends and deep breath in. Right arm reaches up and over. This inner arm, say it does kind of reach the ground, you can use the elbow to press into the inside of the leg. I'm not going for any personal records or anything crazy like that, but just using this leverage to keep the chest open. So we're not reaching over the foot like Janu Shirshasana. No, this is just a side bend. Right hip glued to the ground. Right fingertips reaching, reaching, reaching. Heard a smash? Yes, but don't worry, our teaware is cast iron. We'll bring it back up. Oof, really opening the side body today. Feet come max distance apart and release the knees over to the left. Right foot is at 90 degrees, foot's flexed, knee 90 degrees. I'm gonna bring it back behind me. Gonna step away for coffee, but I'll be back. Awesome, we'll be here. And then hands go where it serves you. You'll see where it kind of serves you. So we're gonna start with that lift again. Knee and ankle at the same time. So, lift. So for more difficulty, the chest is over the hips. Oh, can't do that today, not after yesterday's hike. And then if you're like, how are you getting your leg up? Just shift your chest forward another degree or two. And when your weight, head, shoulder weight is forward, it's going to give you a little bit more space to play with. But see the most upright you can be and then work there. So where it's kind of like shaky or like difficult, that's kind of the place to grow. So still we're breathing fully here. Attempting to get the ankle and the knee at the same time. Strengthening this whole pelvic area, and specifically this outer right glute. We work to stabilize the hips a lot. We just got 3, 2, 1. Okay, great job. So we're going to bring this foot up, or rather this knee up, send the right leg back, wiggle it back, 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 until the left knee is over left ankle. Right toes tuck under. We're shifting it forward and back for that calf stretch. A little ankle stretch here too. Once again, if you're not feeling a stretch on your calf, then straighten out the leg even more. back of the knee towards the sky. And how do we do that? Squeezing the front muscles, the quadriceps. That's going to help straighten out the leg. Just a nice dynamic little stretch here, pressing into the stretch and alleviating. We'll just press it back, pressing the heel back, pressing the knee up, full breath here. And gently release the knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes, and we are trying to get, right, the left knee stays over left ankle. We're trying to get that knee kind of as far back as possible so we can focus on the stretch on the front thigh. We'll come up to Asana. Instead of just scooping up, you might feel more stable using the knee as a step. So use this press up, working towards getting the shoulders up over the hips. That'll bring your head up over the hips. And that weight pressing down is going to give you the stretch on the hip flexor and the quads that we were just engaging. Right hips pulling forward, left hips pulling back, not a dramatic amount, just enough so that you feel it. We're breathing here, shoulders melted away, not really doing any work here. Maybe the hands are just pressing into the thigh for that stability. And the hands come down to frame the foot. We'll heel toe the foot in towards this right hip, releasing down onto the hips. Rotate the leg out so you're sitting on both sits bones. Hips and shoulders facing the same direction. Foot comes in towards the right thigh. Inhale, deep breath in, get tall. And exhale, we'll bend it over to the right. So, doesn't matter, we're not like trying to grab the foot even here. Instead, we're actually going to let the arm come down. And the elbow presses into the leg to keep this chest nice and open. Reaching through the fingertips. And it might even feel good to press down through the knee. My knee doesn't touch the ground, like for FYI. Yours does, that's freaking awesome. And if it doesn't, that's freaking awesome too. It's just the press down that helps ground the left hip so we can invite even more space through this side rib cage. Sometimes it can feel like the goal is like to grab the foot or whatever, but it's actually just to create more space in the body. And we're creating more space in the rib cage to create more space available for the breath. And like a cartwheel, bringing it back upright. Bring the knees in, drop them over to the right, and come into hands and knees, tabletop pose, facing the front of the mat. We'll work on a little, I guess I could just bring the mat closer to me. We're going to work on a little wrist resiliency here. So shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. And we'll turn the hand under, so flipping the palm. So the back of my hand's pressed into the ground, fingers are spread wide. And just scope it out here. Can you do the other hand as well? And if you can't, that's okay. We'll just do one at a time. I'll let you know when to switch. If you do feel like you can manage both hands flip. Fingers are facing the knees. Fingers are spread wide, and the wrists don't leave the ground. Okay, from here, next step is to straighten out the arms. So I'm just gonna, you don't have to turn sides, I'm just showing you. From here, so you got here, the next step is to straighten out the arms and bring the eye of your elbow to face forward. So, what's the eye of your elbow? If you bend your elbow, you can see that's the point there. This is the eye, the inside part. So, I'm straightening and then rotating the arm forward, so now it's facing forward. So from here, working towards here. It's like you're trying to open a jar, but your wrists aren't going anywhere. So you can just be working here, and just like we were doing with the calf stretch, you can come out a bit and then press back towards. Come out a bit and press back towards. If your arms are already straight, your elbows are, eye of your elbows facing forward, then you can play with pressing back a bit. I like tucking my toes under, it's just like a little bit more stable for me, but whatever your preference is. And this is not a big movement, it's not a fast movement, but it's quite intense. So you want to be at like an intensity level of like an 8. Discomfort level of like an 8. It can even be a little bit painful, but it shouldn't be sharply painful. It can be like dull pain, not sharp pain. If there's sharp pain, just back off. Switch sides. If you are just doing one arm at a time, if you're doing right hand, go ahead and flip over to the left. And if you're just doing one arm at a time, then you really just want to work on straightening out that arm and bringing more weight onto it. Don't worry about leaning back or anything like that. There's no prize for having the most flexible wrists or anything like that. And we're just pressing back here, and we'll hold here wherever you might be for 2 deep breaths. The shoulders relax away. Bring the weight back over the wrists. Gently unflip. Tuck the toes under and sit back on the heels. Start giving the backs of the feet a stretch. And then fingers interlace, and like you're making figure 8s or an infinity sign. It's called wrist flossing. I don't know if that's like the medical term for it, but I've heard multiple people call this wrist flossing, and I kind of like that. Change directions. Just bring some blood back into the wrists. And just a little gentle shake out. Not hard, just gentle shake off of water. Yeah, good? Okay, so there we go. Front foot or right foot steps up forward, left foot steps up forward, doesn't matter which direction to be honest. And then the feet walk out to the edges of the mat, the knees be nice and bent. You can extend one leg and then the other. So both knees can be bent for this too. As we're coming to center, the legs more or less come to stillness. Let the head be heavy, so no weight in the arms. Like I said, the knees can be really bent for this, that's cool. Not the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Grab opposite elbows, creating a frame for the head. And we'll just give yourself a rock side to side. This is called ragdoll, so once again, there's not really a wrong way of doing this. We're just letting the torso be heavy, and that weight's going to help stretch out the whole backside body. The glutes, the hamstrings, all of that. Knees are as bent as feels good for you. This first major forward fold of class. Using gravity as our friend to do some of the work for us. Coming back to center, we'll release the hands onto the mat, heel toe the feet together, big toes come to touch, a little space between the ankles. Straighten out the legs more or less. Right hand comes down to the ground, bend in the right knee, extending the left leg straight, and left arm sweeps open. Deep breath in here, reaching tall through that top hand. And exhale, hand comes down, bend in the left knee, right leg straightens or gets straight-ish. Right arm sweeps open to the sky. Inhaling, reaching through, right fingertips. Exhale, hand comes down, both knees can bend. As left arm sweeps up, left arm straightens out. And then we're here for 2 breaths. So just notice, you can press the hips a bit more or less to the left to get a nice IT band stretch. That's like the outside part of the leg. And we'll switch sides. The hand comes down, both knees bend. Right leg straightens as right arm sweeps open. You can press the hip a bit left, a bit right to find the sweetest part of that stretch. Hand releases down, both knees bend. Roll up 1 vertebra at a time, all the way to stand. I'm just going to rearrange so you guys can actually see me. And arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take a quarter turn to the left. Take a nice big step out. Legs nice and wide. Cool. Legs nice and wide. My feet are parallel to one another, toes facing the long side of the mat. We'll turn the right foot to face the short end of the mat. Arms sweep open to the letter T. And then bend in the right foot, right knee, rather. Warrior 2. Knee once again, tracking over the ankle, pressing into the pinky side edge of the back foot. And here we'll work on lifting the right heel. So, bringing the weight into the toe ball mound, we lift and slowly lower. Lift, and slowly lower. Last time, lift, slowly lower, and reverse warrior. Drop the left arm, right arm reaches out, commit to the bend in that front knee. Bottom hand is not pressing into the leg at all. In fact, bring it in front of the belly and grab onto this right hip. Breathing into the side stretch. One more deep breath here. Extend the left leg long. First triangle. And then arms come down parallel to the ground. Drop the right hip. So it's like a little teapot, pouring the tea out. Spout reaches all the way as far as it can go. Right hand drops down to the calf, maybe the thigh, depending where you're at, inner leg. And left arm sweeps up towards the sky. So you might know in your body you can reach the ground, but instead we're actually trying to keep the lift, engage the obliques, some of those side body muscles that we've been stretching out this whole time. Now we're engaging, pulling tight. And I'm using this bottom hand as leverage to keep this left shoulder back, like I'm between 2 panes of glass. Chest is open towards the side wall. Trikonasana triangle pose. One more deep breath here. We'll bend in that knee, back through warrior 2. Extend the right leg straight and toes face forward. Rotate left toes to face the back of the mat, and then bend in the left knee until it's directly over left ankle. Pressing into the pinky side edge of the back foot,
Shoulders are melted away. So if your arms start to feel heavy, your arms start to get tired, just imagine, instead of your shoulders doing the work, it's like all the energy is going through the fingertips. So it's like heart expanding out, or like star radiating or something like that. So we begin to lift that front heel and touch it down. So we're strengthening these muscles that we were stretching earlier. It's like a slow motion lift and lower. If there's shaking, it's all good. Your body's just learning new patterns. It's actually a good sign if your body's shaking. This shows that you're challenging it. Now let the heel touch down. Reverse warrior. Left arm sweeps up. Right arm sweeps in front. It's a whoosh. This hand can grab onto the left hip, keeping the chest open, committing to the bend in the knee. No, it's super fatigued. We just got one more breath here. And then release. Extend the legs straight, reverse triangle. Back upright. And hands on the hips. Open up the left arm like a little tea spout. Pouring the tea out. We're letting the hip, right hip pop out. Spout reaches, reaches, reaches. So you can't go any further. The hand drops down to inside of the leg. And right arm reaches up towards the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. I'm using that bottom arm as leverage to keep the front side body, rather the top side body, facing the side wall. Trying to make my body as flat as possible, like I'm between two panes of glass. We're strong. If you feel any pressure in the knee, we don't want that. We want to feel it in the hip, maybe in the backs of the legs, in the like the belly of the muscle, but not in the joints. So you want to squeeze the quadricep to lock the knee in place, or bring a little bend to it, a little micro bend. So I just exaggerated there to show you what that kind of looks like. So you'll feel it more than see it. We just got one more breath here. And bend all the way into that left knee, back through warrior two. Stand the legs straight and toes face forward. Deep breath in here. And exhale, we hinge forward from the hips. So the hands can come onto the hips. That'll bring less pressure to the lower back. I'm pressing into the pinky side edges of my feet as I come down with a super flat back. When you know if you went any further, your back would round, take another breath in. And exhale, release. Prasarita Padottanasana, standing wide angle fold. I'll do it from the side just so that I can see you better. So, if you're here, like your head's hitting the ground, bring your feet in a little closer to one another because we want to work on the opening up the hips and the legs. And if you're like, I can't even bring my hands to the ground, then don't stress out. Just bring your legs a little bit further apart. That'll bring your hands closer. So if you're here and you're, I'm going to say afraid, but maybe afraid, like that's the feeling of like, if I let go of my arms, I'm going to fall over, I'm going to hurt something, then don't rush it. You can be here and then just begin to bend your elbows. So I'm bending my elbows out to the sides, like a not proper push-up. Just slowly bring my top body down. And every exhale is just an opportunity to let go until you feel comfortable hanging here in between your legs. If you can hang here comfortably between your legs, and you'd like to have something to do with your arms, you can reach the arms through and then place them down. Then you can kind of like crawl them back to bring the chest even closer to your thighs. Alternately, you can do the same thing, reaching forward, and it's like an awkward downward facing dog, but you're not really pressing the hands too hard into the ground to get a different shoulder stretch. Fully breathing here, even in the inversion. we'll walk the hands underneath the chest to come up to like a halfway lift type feeling. And the right arm sweeps open. Let the hips kind of go with it. So my hips are also going to sway to the right to give the inner left groin and thigh stretch. So reaching up through the right hand, pressing through the pinky side edge of the left foot to find a stretch in the inside of the leg. And bring the hand back down to the ground. And the left arm will open up, letting the hips tilt with it. Pressing into pinky side edge of the right foot. We're opening up the inner right thigh, hip, groin. Hand comes down, hips come back through center. Hands come onto the hips. So I'm pressing really strong into my feet here for stability to come all the way back up to stand. Heel toe the feet in together. Nice. And all the weight comes into the left leg as the right knee floats up. Fingers interlace below that knee, pulling the knee in towards the shoulder. Give the foot a little roll out from holding all that weight. So it's like a standing wind relieving pose. Really, it's a one-legged Tadasana, one-legged mountain pose. Bottom leg is strong, shoulders totally melted away. I'm just using bicep strength to pull the leg in towards the chest. Release the foot down to the ground. Transfer the weight into this leg. And left knee levitates up. So it's all nice and slow. We're just using core and hip flexor strength here to pull the knee up. Momentum's not your friend in balancing poses. We'll interlace the fingers behind the knee, just grabbing the knee, avoid the belly to pull the knee in towards the chest, but really that armpit. And the bottom leg is straight and strong. Roll out this ankle for our one-legged Tadasana. Still, the breathing's flowing. If you keep falling out, no worries. You just begin again. Just reset. There's no rush. There's so much value in resetting and getting back into a posture. Right, so there's like 4 parts to a pose. Entering, sustaining, releasing, and then the bonus is the space in between. Sometimes we have to really practice entering and entering and entering. We think the pose is in the sustaining, but it really is all 4 components. So that space in between at the end is called integration, which we have a long-term version of that in Savasana. So let's float this leg down. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. You can go ahead and shake out the leg. Shake out the other leg. And bring a shake to the whole body for lymphatic shaking. So here we release a bunch of tension in the body. So I'm just lifting my heels up and letting them kind of slam down, soften the knees the whole time to create this reverberation, this shake in the body. Kind of get my shoulders involved, just letting them rise and drop, rise and drop. You can like full jump around. If you got the energy for that, it's awesome. Just kind of giving it all. Nice little shake and bounce. And now we've been breathing in and out through the nose to the best of our ability, but now we can exhale through the mouth. Even inviting some audible sighs to the practice. Bringing some warmth, just some movement. So this helps shake up any stuck energy in the body. And we'll come into our breath of joy, our breathing technique, more on letting go. So feet are shoulder distance apart, maybe hip distance apart, and it looks like 3 sips of air in through the nose with no exhale in between. And a big ha on the exhale. So it's like a third of your inhale in as arms sweep up, a third of your inhale in as arms sweep out, third of your inhale in as arms sweep up, so now you're at full lung capacity, and a big forceful ha, arms sweep back, like through chair pose. So we have 10 of those. In, 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 ha, in, 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 ha, in, 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 ha, in, 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 ha, 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 ha. 3 more if you haven't joined in yet. Now's your chance. Ha! Ha! Last one, make it count. Ha! One hand lands on the belly, one hand lands on the heart, eyes close. We'll just take a moment here to observe what was created. Taking your body and giving it a righteous shake like a snow globe. Now we just observe to see where that glitter dust settled. What was revealed? Increased heart rate, perhaps increased breathing. But what else shows up for you when you allow yourself to let go, to take up space, to be loud? Or what shows up to stop you? What is your resistance to full participation? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. You can gently blink your eyes open, perhaps taking a sip of water or toweling off some sweat if that built up for you. Just gonna take a sip of tea. Get my voice back. So if you're on the ground already, just stay there, we'll meet you. If you're not, you can come down with me. Walking to the back of the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, knees bend deep, deep, so deep that you come to seated. Okay. You know what I want to do actually? Let's drop the knees over to the right and come into tabletop once more. Then we'll shift the right knee all the way up to meet the right wrist. Cross the ankle over to the left, like your foot's going to touch the hand. It's not going to, maybe it does, but that's just the direction. And then the left toes scooch back, 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 bringing the hips close to the ground. So we're not going towards sitting on the right butt cheek or anything like that. We're keeping the hips nice and square, so the front hip bones are the same distance from the ground. And then the back of the foot, toes untucked, shoelace part of the foot pressing to the ground so hard that the knee could lift. Hands walk back, proud pigeon pose. Squeezing my shoulder blades together, deep breath in here. And exhale, belly, chest, head are reaching towards the wall in front of me. Lengthen the spine until you can come all the way down into this folded pigeon, Eccopada Konasana. Head comes to rest on a blanket, on stacked fists, the ground itself, anywhere so that you don't feel like you're in a perpetual push-up. So I want upper body to be completely relaxed. So we can focus all of the effort and all of the intention and attention on this right hip. We've been strengthening since the beginning of class. So arms go wherever is going to serve you to do that. And every inhale, we're just locating any tension in the body. So that might be clenching in the jaw, holding in the shoulders, scrunching of the toes, wherever you might hold tension. And every exhale is an invitation to release that tension. Let it go. Last deep breath here, fullest expression of the posture. And hands pressed into the ground. So fullest expression of the posture, what does that mean? Deepest version of the stretch, sure, some poses. But in pigeon, it's more like you're the most relaxed your body can be. That's really the win. Left toes tuck under, they scooch in, on, pivot the front right knee, we'll come back to tabletop pose. You can extend the right leg back, just reaching it, maybe a hip circle or two feels good. Release the knee back to tabletop pose. Left knee slides forward to touch right wrist. Left knee scooches forward to touch left wrist. Yep, that makes more sense. Then we'll cross the ankle in towards the right hand. Left toes back, back, back. Hips are the same distance from the ground. This front thigh, is more or less parallel to the long end of the mat. That's more important than getting your foot to your hand, which is not really the goal, it's just the direction that the body's going in. We'll untuck the back toes, pressing the tops of the feet so hard that you could lift the leg, lift the knee, right? Hands walk back underneath the shoulders for a proud pigeon. So this is a bit of a back bend here. Squeeze the glutes to protect the lower back. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Deep breath in, get tall. And exhale, a very dramatic forward fold. Belly's reaching forward, chest and head all reaching towards the front wall, ultimately ending in a fold. So we do that to create space in the spine, and also, who doesn't love a little permission to be dramatic? I do. I like that. I think forward folds are always most beautiful with a dramatic back bend preceding them. But functionally as well, even if you're not into the drama, it creates more space in the spine. You don't want to be all hunched up and creating spinal issues while we open the piriformis and psoas and all the other good benefits that we're getting here in this posture, Ekapada Konasana. So as I'm releasing my head onto the ground or a block or a pillow, wherever I can, so that my shoulders are not doing the work. I want my whole body to be relaxed here so that I can focus all of my effort, attention, and intention in this left hip, this left leg, lower back. If your back knee is bothering you, you can tuck the toes under, and that's just going to bring a little bend to the back knee and release any like icky feeling you feel in your patella and your knee bone. I practiced this pose like this for like 7 years because I just didn't have the strength around my knee to keep it stable in this like elongated position. So there's nothing wrong with that, it's just something to notice, and we do lots of knee stabilizing movements in our practice, so you will build up past that discomfort and that looseness in the knee with time and practice. But for now, no need to be suffering. You can just keep the toes tucked under. Every exhale is an opportunity to release. Every inhale, you locate the places that need that release. And the last deep breath here, deepest expression of your pose. Walk the hands under the chest, bringing yourself back upright. Right toes tuck under, shifting the knee in. Unpivot the left leg. Tabletop pose. You can extend the left leg straight, rolling out the ankle. Maybe some hip circles. Then we'll let hips come down to the side, whichever side you'd like. We're just coming down to reclining. Hug the knees in. A little rock side to side. Doing the lower back massage. And both knees come up 90 degrees. And we'll release the knees over to the right. Gently, using a little core strength so they're not just flopping over. Right hand lands on top of left knee. And left arm opens up like the letter T. I'm working towards getting this left shoulder to touch the ground. Otherwise, the whole body's relaxed, no effort here. Just let the left shoulder be pressing into the ground. You can even look over the extended left arm for a supine spinal twist, Supta Matsyendrasana. Bring the head up through center, knees come up through center, and gently release the knees over to the left. Left hand lands on top of right knee, and right arm opens up like the letter T. Pressing the right shoulder down towards the ground, otherwise the whole body's relaxed. These gentle spinal twists at the end. I just really love this pose. It helps alleviate lower back pain. And there's like such a little effort to it. There's just a mindfulness to the breath. Gravity really does the work for us in concert with the breath. Every exhale helps deepen the pose just naturally, without any pulling or tugging or pressing or pulling. We'll bring the head back up through center. Knees come up through center. And then just notice, is there any last movement or wiggle or pose or stretch that your body's asking for that we haven't quite hit yet in class? So we're just prepping for Savasana here, and we just want the body to be satisfied with its movement. So maybe something came up for you during your body scan earlier and we didn't quite hit that body part. Now is a chance to just move through it. It doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name. It doesn't have to have a name at all. Just whatever movement is going to serve you today, so that you can rest more fully and more peacefully in this final relaxation pose to come. All day, all class, we tell our body what to do, and now we just ask back, is there anything we can do for it? Just beginning to build those communication lines of conversation so that we can work in concert with the body, with the breath, to more fully serve ourselves holistically. When you're ready for Savasana, final relaxation pose, what it looks like is laying flat on your back. Feet land at least a foot apart, legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Hands land at least 6 inches from the body, palms face up. Shoulders tuck under to support the chest. The palms face open to the sky as a symbol of mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. If laying like this brings pain to your lower back, bend in the knees nice and deep. Bring the feet to the edges of the mat and allow the knees to knock together for broken bridge. Then it's a lift of the hips and a tucking to bring lower back to press into the ground. And then complete relaxation. Just gravity holds this pose together, and that'll alleviate the pain in the lower back. Traditionally, the legs are down the length of the mat. So that's my initial recommendation, and then you just alter according to your body's needs today. Head is straight up towards the sky, eyes closed, or soft gaze towards the sky or ceiling if that's more comfortable for you. I'm going to come up to seated so that I can more easily guide you through this, and also place some singing bowls for you. Another part of prep might be laying a blanket over your body or putting on socks, as your body temperature will lower in this pose. I always put a blanket on over me for my own Savasanas personally. And really this is an opportunity to integrate all that we've practiced together.
But not just that, whatever else preceded class. So also an opportunity to integrate whatever you might be studying, or whatever project you might be working on, whatever new skill you may be trying to learn. Savasana is a beautiful opportunity to let it really like sink into your bones, if you will. We'll start with 3 cleansing breaths, just like we started our first meditation. In through the nose and out through the mouth. There's shoulders just stay relaxed in this one though. And allow your breathing to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available. Inviting exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy and the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. A symbol of chitta vritti, monkey mind. We're just inviting that monkey mind to take a seat out for this one. As all the muscles and the lips and the cheeks relax. Nose and nostrils rest. And gently allowing breath to pass through like waves lapping up to shore. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as the muscles in the forehead relax. Muscles surrounding the ears with all their wrinkles and folds. Rest all the way into the ear canals, all relaxed and passive. The muscles in the back of the head and top of the head rest as well. Throat and neck release. And shoulders, shoulder blades, and space between the shoulders all melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists release. Palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, fingernail beds, all rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle, and lower back. Rest heavy, supported by the ground below. Chest gently rising and falling, perhaps imperceptibly. Belly naturally rising and falling with the breath. pelvis, glutes, hips rest heavy. Thighs and knees melt away. Calves and ankles relax. Heels, arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Notice if in your mind, if even for a moment, there was silence or a pause in that inner monologue. Notice if in your breath there's ease and depth. Notice if in your body the places of tension have found space. The places of restlessness have found peace. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. Invite your inhalations to deepen and become longer than your exhalations. Every inhale brings the awareness to the front side surface of the body. You begin to wiggle the fingers and curl the toes. And that feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of openness and expansion as the head begins to rock side to side. Arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural. Landing in a fetal position. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. Take this opportunity to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered,
press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Today, we worked on a series of hip opening and stabilizing postures, as well as some wrist resiliency. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another and everyone that helped hold space for this practice. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me today. I hope that you found something that serves you in your life off the mat. Namaste, Bodhi. And Miss Mango, whoever else is in chat, as well as Sarah and Zhao on Facebook for joining me. Namaste, my legs are like jello. Remember when I was like, I'm so tired, guys, we're just gonna take it easy. But then I don't know, I was just feeling it. I was like, no, we're just gonna flow with it. Tips, thank you. Yes, so never required, but also always appreciated. Tips to the class are very, to me, are very appreciated. They go directly towards paying my internet and electric bills. $5 does get you a recording of class, or even if you miss class one day, send me $5, and then the date of the class that you'd like the recording for, you'll receive a recording with timestamps to all your favorite parts of class. You don't have to scroll through and try to find that lymphatic shake, breath of joy. It's right there, one click away. Or Savasana if you need to relax before bed, if you want just a grounding meditation for the middle. You can just click away there. Kitty snacks! Hello, namaste, friend. I hope if you joined for class, I hope that was beneficial to you, your mind, your body. Today is our 50th class. 50. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't feel like it's been that many. I feel like I've taught like 15 classes, but I guess it adds up. Hi, baby. Did you like that Savasana? Are you chilling? Lucy says hi. Oh, she brought me a thing. It's a sign. I've missed you all. We missed you too. I never know if people are just like in in the practice and like not talking in chat, which is totally fine. You don't have to talk in chat, especially during a yoga class. Like, I get it. I'd rather you be in your practice, or if people aren't like, or if you're just like not here. Have you been busy with work, or like with life, or maybe something fun? Like last week I was traveling, which is like weird to say during a pandemic, but one of my best friends, Kai Budra on stream, she or in chat, she just turned 30, so we did like a whole like birthday road trip thing and went to like the most remote places in Northern California to go hiking, and it was hard for me to find space and Wi-Fi to stream up there. So last week you didn't miss that much. I think I only taught like 3 times. But now I'm back in sunny San Diego with proper Wi-Fi. Thanks for the tips, guys. That's how I afford it. And I'll be here consistently. At least through February. I mean, let's be honest, probably March too. I mean, I've just been really enjoying this time to devote to practice and to teaching, just getting back into teaching after it not really being a thing to do in real life anymore because of COVID. So, you know, I'm getting to reconnect with Bodhi and a bunch of people back from the East Coast that are friends, and then also that,
used to take my classes IRL back at Mystic Fitness in Massachusetts, and at Diosa Dance Studio, and all the other places that I used to teach at, brick and mortar places that aren't available now anyway, but then obviously aren't available since I moved 4 years ago. 4 years ago? Is that true? That's not true. I moved in 2018. 19, 20, 21. 3 years ago. Okay. Whew. I was just like, oh, how old am I? What year are we in? 3 years ago. So, yeah. Well, you're welcome back anytime. Like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, so not even 3 years ago, because I moved in September. So we're in February. 2.5 years. I can't math, but no, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I think I've just had so many apartments in California that it like feels like it's been years and years and years, but really my hair is just... Today was a hat day, but I didn't bother getting a hat. So thanks for practicing with me with bedhead. Y'all are the realist. Alright, let's see. Who's on? Ba-dum-ba-bum. We've got Mum. We've got Sets and Reps. It's Dave just chatting. The great kind. No, that's just a reset. Let's go raid Mum Furious. The guy's super good energy. I'm pretty low energy right. I'm not low energy. I feel very stable. I have like very calm energy right now. Like when I was doing like the energy thing of like scale of 1 to 10, I was like 2. And I was like, no, 7. That's the conversation that's going on in my head at all times. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty exhausted. I could go to sleep, or I could run 6 miles. I don't know. It's really a toss-up. But that's why it's so important for me to like actually check in, you know? Because I'm like, wait, where am I actually? And I think I just have like really calm energy, so we'll see. Tomorrow, yeah, let's raid Mum. Hello, Swiss, my love. Yes, we're raiding Mum now. Mum Furious Fitness is really cool. I like would be friends with him in real life if like in real life was a thing. So he's really great energy. He's brilliant when it comes to anatomy, even breath work. He doesn't do like the spiritual breath work, but he does the like he knows the whole like physics part of it. His girlfriend is an MD. Anyway, let's hop on over there. Let's show him some love. Drop some tigers in the chat. And I'll see you same time, same place tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific for more meditation, more shaking, more yoga flow. Much love from me to you guys.